Guys, on the latest edition of Real Talk with Rick Glaser, we're going to be talking about Boots Ennis. Is he ready for Terence Crawford? We're going to be talking about also Shakur Stevenson, potentially working with Eddie Hearn. Also, William Zepeda. Does he fight Barenchik? All this and more on the latest edition of Real Talk with Rick Glaser.
Too can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser.
Guys, welcome. Happy Monday to all of you guys. Now, I hope you guys had a great start to your work week this week. And I tell you what, this wouldn't be a Monday evening without the counsel of one of the sharpest knives in the boxing drawer, the incomparable Rick Glaser. Rick, how you doing, my friend?
Thanks for having me, Joe. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. And let's get fired away here.
Oh, yeah. We apologize for the late start, guys. But you know what? Better late than never when it comes to Rick. We're going to start with the chat, guys. Alberto, welcome to the show, sir. And thank you for supporting Big Rick on this day. He says, salute, Joe and Big Rick. I have a question, Rick. Why is Oscar taking Zepeda the WBO route? Barenchik is no joke. He has that Ukrainian weird movement style, and he's durable with a decent punch. Your thoughts, sir?
It's the easiest fight to make because he's the most unpopular of the champions. So it's the easiest fight to make, where somebody's not going to hold out and say, "Oh, he's a big attraction," because he's not. And nobody's going to say, "Oh, he's got a hometown to fight in," because he really doesn't. So it's the easiest fight to make. It's the path of least resistance, and I think that's the way to go in this kind of situation.
You know what? And I think you're absolutely right. I thought before, like when we met last week, I think it was on Wednesday, I thought that it would probably be the most advantageous for Golden Boy Promotions to force Shakur's hand while he doesn't have any promotional support at this time. But after Golden Boy, Oscar, and Eric meeting with the brain trust for Shakur Stevenson, they thought the wiser of it. Are you at liberty to speak on what transpired during that meeting?
I didn't even talk to him about it, to be honest with you. It's not that Eric wouldn't talk to me about it if I asked him, but you know what? I think all that stuff will come to pass, come out in the open, and they'll make statements and stuff like that. I don't really have to ask. There's no secrets there, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of situations that I think that he's going to want millions and millions. He already gets $3 million a fight. Imagine how much he's going to want to fight Zepeda, who's a real challenge. So it's a lot of money. So they're better off going better off going the other way with Barenchik, I think.
You know what? I think you're absolutely right. And what told me this was immediately following that meeting, and Oscar's always very positive, very upbeat. And he said, you know what? We had a great meeting with Shakur's people, but if he wants me to put together the Williams Zepeda fight, I'm going to need options on his next 3 fights. And that told me everything. That told me that he is asking for way too much money, a la Devin Haney versus Vasil Lomachenko. It's like, what?
You might be right. Okay, and I agree with you. So, and I think that's very probable. But if he loses money on the first fight, let's say he was to lose money on it because he was to overpay him and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do on pay-per-view or something like that. It loses money. He's got if he doesn't have three options, he has no chance to recoup his money back.
Yep, that's right. And it's basically a la Devin Haney, Eddie Hearn.
Right.
The same exact situation, not a huge ticket seller, but they get inflated purses just to get that opportunity and make that fight happen. And then they walk around with this inflated, delusional sense of market value.
Well,
and now look at the situation.
I don't, Joe, yes, I agree with you in the general sense of what you said, but it's not so disingenuous of them to do that when people are paying them that kind of money. So they think they are worth that kind of money. They are overinflated, but it's not disingenuous. Does that make sense?
I agree, because you know what? Yes, you're absolutely right, because strength and quality of opposition matters, and that increases your market value if it's affiliated with a fight like William Zepeda. That is correct.
But then your next guy will be Joe Blow, and you can't pay him. Right. Exactly.
Yep. Yeah. So that speaks volumes. And well, look, Eric and Oscar, they're no dummies, right? And they've got they talk to a lot of very intelligent people in this business as well, like you. And so, they're making the right move here. Eddie Hearn. It looks like Shakur more than likely is going to sign with Eddie Hearn. Who is he going to put him up against? Now he has said, now I've got a 3-fight deal for Shakur, and we're going to try to get William Zepeda. We both have a working relationship with the zone, so I'm sure I can make that happen. And then we're going to get the winner of Tank versus Loma. How the hell is Hearn going to deliver?
He ain't getting the winner of Tank. First of all, if Loma won, okay, Top Rank ain't putting them in with a guy who left them to go with Eddie Hearn. That ain't happening. Not in this lifetime or the next. Yep. That's one. Now, if Tank wins, which is a better shot at Tank winning, okay, there's no way that Tank's going to fight Shakur because he doesn't have to, because he just beat Loma. So why does he have to go fight Shakur? He just beat a credible guy. He can rest his laurels for a couple of years on that.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick.
Sorry about that. I accidentally hit that. My apologies, guys. Oh, I'm sorry, Rick. As you were, my friend, because you were on a roll, man.
I mean, once if Loma wins, he's not. Top Rank's not going to put him in with Shakur if Shakur's with Eddie Hearn. The other way around is if with Top Rank, if Tank wins, Tank can sit on his laurels for 2 years, could just be the name reputable guy, so he's not going to have to fight Shakur. So that fight ain't going to happen. So
Well, I tell you what, guys, he's about to experience this same dilemma with Duran Boots Ennis. Once again, I know he talks about unifying the weight divisions and delivering Crawford via Turkey Al-Sheikh, but trust me, Rick, and maybe you can confirm this, Crawford has other plans. Is this a bit of wishful thinking, and is Eddie Hearn just being the used car salesman here?
Of course. Of course. Of course.
Oh, my gosh. Guys, we've got so much to talk about. And the immortal words of Jerry Reed of Smokey and the Bandit fame, we have a long way to go in a short time to get there. So let's check this out, guys.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
Thank you, Teddy. Thank you so much. And I tell you what, this was tweeted by Rick 1 day ago, right? And he says this: after 2 very mundane fights in a row, Raymond Mora doesn't look like a guy to get excited about. Top rank executives probably have to now feel the same. Murataya is regressing, clearly no longer putting his punches together. Something is definitely wrong. Hashtag ESPN, hashtag boxing. Rick, I'm actually quite surprised that you're saying that because no one looks good against Tevin Farmer except for maybe Jojo Diaz.
Yeah, but he looked bad the prior fight too.
He sure did.
It's not based off just this fight. It's both fights. He just doesn't look good. Either he can't make the weight anymore and he's straining himself so much he's listless in the fights. I don't know. I'm not close enough to the situation to know, but something is wrong. There's no question. He went from a beast to, I don't know. It's almost like what happened to Shakur. Not Shakur, I mean Belanga. Where 1 minute he looked like a beast and all of a sudden he looks like Joe Shit the Ragman.
Did you just say Joe Shit the Ragman?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
What was so funny?
My name is Joe Friend.
Yeah,
anyway,
you're
man,
not Joe Shit the Ragman.
No, I'm not, sir. No, I'm not. Yeah.
So basically, what I'm basically saying here is that something's wrong. It just doesn't. He's not putting his punches together. He pushes his punches. His feet, his hands are not working together anymore. I don't know. Something doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. You know what? So what do you do? What do you do if you're Robert Garcia? And you know what? You might be on cue here or on points here when you bring up the weight because he is a big lightweight fighter.
If your hands and feet are not working together, you're either shot anymore, and they were. You're either shot, and he's too young to be shot, or you can't make the weight. And
that's it.
And I don't think you make the weight comfortably.
That's it, guys. And look, I think you're absolutely right. I think the days are calling him. The weight division at 140 is calling him loudly and clearly. I think you're on point right there, brother. But let's move on. Want to say hello to our dear friend Toby Bartlett. Toby, thank you for supporting Rick on this day. We appreciate you being here. Also, Mini Min, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for supporting Rick. He says Shakur is a higher risk. Oscar already said a unification with Shakur makes more sense in a higher purse. But look, Dennis Morenchik is a serious guy. And he proved that by beating or winning the title. Beating Emmanuel Navarrete. Guys.
Yeah, but Navarrete also proved he wasn't a 135-pounder.
That is true. Well, I'll tell you what, let's move on. T. Sanders, thank you for supporting Rick on this day. Good to see you here. So everyone, realest boxing channel in the game. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, man. Joe? Yeah, I'm out here on my patio, brother. I always do the show outdoors because, well, I like the fresh air. Makes me feel good. So here it is. Let's see. Minnie Mills said, heard that Munguia is no longer with Freddy Roach. Why not?
Yeah, he's back with Eric Morales.
Why? Is it the money? Is it the money?
I have no idea. No clue.
Because you get that sparring. But do you think, like, fighters do this? Like, if they lose, now he didn't lose badly. He made a good showing of himself, even though a lot of people.
No, but everybody's got to blame. Everybody, when they lose, everybody's got to blame somebody. But that may not be the reason. That might be the reason is because he was friends with Morales. They were from the same hometown, Tijuana.
Yep.
And he's probably got a little bit of an obligation to him, felt bad, and said, listen, he'll do it for 200,000. Freddie wants 400,000 or 500,000. I could save 200,000-300,000 and make all my homies happy. All my fellow amigos are happy. I think that was the
answer. And there it is. Alberto says, do we get Rick for an extra 10 minutes to accommodate the late start? Well, that's up to Rick.
Not tonight.
Oh, boo. Yeah. Let's move on, guys. Alberto says, Joe, can you ask Big Rick when Golden Boy plans to bring Oscar Duarte? He gave a very good account of himself against Ryan. Also, Golden Boy needs to dump Jojo Diaz expeditiously.
I don't know what they're doing with JoJo. I never asked. As far as Oscar, I don't know when he's coming back.
Well, I tell you what, we've got Alexis Roach coming back. Is it this Friday?
Yep, this Friday, big fight against an undefeated guy, 27-0 with a lot of knockouts who can fight.
Oh yeah, and it's going to be at the
Santiago Dominguez. It's at the Fantasy Springs.
Oh gosh, yeah, Santiago
Dominguez.
Oh, isn't that Gogi's former fighter?
Who? Santiago Dominguez?
Yeah,
I have
Santiago
no idea.
Dominguez. I think so. Holy cow. No wonder he was in such a bad mood, spitting piss and vinegar yesterday. Oh, geez. I'll talk to him about it. But it should be a great card, guys. I'm really anxious to see which version of Alexis Roach we get. What are you to expect from this Friday's festivities on DAZN, sir?
It's going to be a hell of a fight. Both guys are in a serious fight. We'll see what Alexis Roach can do with a guy like this, and this guy's big and strong, can punch, and Roach is no slouch. He's only lost to super good fighters, real good fighters, and we'll see what happens.
And there it is. It should be a great fight, guys. But look, I know Alexis Roach is a decent ticket seller in Southern California. But look, guys, to increase your market value at this point, you've got to be stuck in tough fights. And in Oscar and Eric, they want to know what they have with Alexis Roach after that very tough showing against Santillan.
Well, I don't mean to contradict you. You're right, but Rocha wants the bigger fights, and he's won the tune-up fights. He hasn't got over the hump in his two biggest fights, and this is his third biggest fight. So this is his biggest fight to date, bigger than the other two. And if he gets over the hump, he gets over the hump. If he don't, it's on him.
Yeah. It's almost like a sink or swim fight, right?
Yeah.
I guess every fight from this point forward is sink or swim, because I know that Golden Boy received a lot of criticism for sticking him in with that Santillan fight, but that was a fight that he could win. Because honestly, I had never seen Santillan.
Never looked that good, and he got destroyed in his next fight.
He sure did in a title effort. Absolutely. Against Norman Jr. Credit to him.
Right.
Congratulations to him for becoming the WBO champ. Now, hold on. Let's see. I have to decline that. My apologies, guys. Guys, going back to Twitter watch, Rick Glaser said this on Twitter a day ago. He said, contrary to Eddie Hearn's thinking, Boots Ennis has the same chance of beating Terence Crawford as I have of becoming 6'4". Hashtag boxing. So why is everyone talking about Boots Ennis versus Terence Crawford, sir?
I don't know. They're sick bastards. He was getting touched up by a guy, a stomped-armed guy, and just, Crawford didn't get touched up like that. Crawford knocked him dead in the sixth. I don't know. People just people seem to see the next great thing in front of their eyes all the time too much, and they don't look at the negativity. And I look at the negativity because you can see the greatness of him. He does do great things. He is big for the weight class. He's fast. He's powerful, but motherfucker gets hit with everything. And he doesn't fight well off the ropes. I mean, well on the inside, well off the ropes. He doesn't really. I know he'd fight a little different style against Terence. He'd have to be more cautious, but I just don't see him beating a Crawford. Now, listen, Crawford could get aged out in 2-3 years from now. I'm not saying that couldn't happen, but if right now, forget about it. Not a prayer.
Yeah, Turkey Al Sheikh immediately following the fight posted, I would love to see Jaron Boots Ennis versus Terence Crawford sometime soon. But once again, most people see what they want to see, Rick. But
Absolutely.
in your best interest, it's your best interest to have that unbiased scope of what you see in the ring. And you seem to see, well, all the same defensive lapses that I do when I look at Jaron Boots Ennis. Now, is it because he doesn't respect his opponent and what's coming
Well,
back at him?
don't get me wrong. That's a lot of it. Don't get me wrong. And I agree that he would fight a different style against Crawford. He'd have to, or Crawford get him out of there real quick. But he just, I see the greatness in him, but I also see big, huge gapping holes of deficiencies there, of shortcomings. And
Are you
hello?
there? You still there?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
boy.
here.
What was that? Did you get an 18-wheeler running through your
That
kitchen?
was an incoming call.
Okay, my apologies, sir. Do you have to get that?
No. Your show is important to me, Joe.
Thank you, my friend. Your time is important to me as well. So let's move on. Here we go. Minnie Mill says this, brother. He says, Joe Norman is not the WBO champ. He's the interim champ. Not sure why people. Well, look, just like Mario Barrios wasn't the WBC champ until he was. He was the interim champ. Just like Amantes Staniones wasn't the WBA champ. He was the regular champ until he wasn't. Guys, Greg Norman Jr. is going to be elevated to the WBO champ.
Actually, he's not a golfer. His name's not Greg Norman. It's Brian Norman.
Oh, my apologies. I've said that before on this show. You're right. That's the golfer, PGA guy. My apologies. Thank you for correcting me, sir. And Alberto says, yep, he's got the beat. He'll likely be elevated. Crawford's never going back in 47. That is absolutely right. Guys, I want to say hello to our dear friend, Bruce, Gat Boxing, Jazz and More. Thank you for supporting Big Rick on this day. Good man. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to our brother, Bruce. Good man. Good boxing ambassador. Consolidated Planning says, I saw a video where a guy was saying and showing how all of Crawford's opponents were compromised at 147. Made some good points. Made me think the Madrimov fight could be a lot closer than we think.
Oh, no, it's going to be a hell of a fight. It's no lock. That's no walk in the park. He's a tough, rough guy with a great amateur background. He's good on his feet. He's big and strong. He's got muscles on top of muscles, but he doesn't have a lot of pro fights, and Crawford's Crawford. So we'll see what happens. But there's nothing compromised. He fought number one contenders. And he knocked out an Olympic gold medalist and Felix Diaz, whatever his name is.
Yep, Felix Diaz Jr. Yep.
Diaz, yeah. Yep. And gold medalist. He beat Cavalisius, a world amateur champion, and he was number one.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing compromised. Stop listening to stupidity, please.
Look, guys, fans will spend all day long trying to pick apart someone's resume. And you can do that to anyone's resume, including Floyd Mayweather Jr. But what's the point? Stop it. The truth always reveals itself in the ring. Once you sign that contract, no excuses, guys. No excuses.
Unless you're Kendo Castaneda.
Oh, dude, don't bring him up. Oh, my gosh. If that isn't the gift that keeps on giving, Big Rick. Ching Yao. I tell you what. Why are we even doing this? Why do we put ourselves through this, Rick?
I don't know.
Yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that. T. Satter says Madrimov doesn't hit harder than Avanesian, in my opinion. Nah, I don't know about that. In my opinion,
I don't agree.
I don't agree either. Look, the only fighter who you can make an argument for hitting harder than Madrimov that Crawford has faced is Igas Kavalyaska. Rick just mentioned him. That guy, oof, he's got deceptive timing. In my opinion, This fight plays out almost identically to Igas Kovalevskis, Madrimov. In my opinion, Crawford sees some hairy moments in which he did against Igas Kovalevskis, very similar, but Crawford figures him out and gets him out of there in the mid to late rounds. Your thoughts on my prediction, Rick?
Yeah, I think it's after 4 or 5 rounds, it's pretty even fight, and then Crawford takes over.
Look, I don't think people realize how special Terence Crawford is. Now, Rick,
No, because they were too busy riding the Johnson of Earl Spence to figure that out.
Well, could you please elaborate, because you're very proficient, and one of your trades is furnishing sparring, quality world-class sparring, depending on the opponent that your client has coming up. Now, if you had to get sparring for Terence Crawford, how would you go about doing that, seeing that he's a switch-hitting badass?
There is none, because you can't duplicate that. In other words, if somebody asked me for somebody to duplicate Terence Crawford, oh yeah, where am I going to get that guy? It doesn't exist, and that's why it's so high. It's a lot easier to prepare for a Madrimov than it is to prepare for Terence Crawford.
Yep, that's it, guys. That's it. I tell you what, though. Well, I'm sorry. Who is his trainer right now? His name eludes me. He's a dear friend of mine too. Why am I forgetting his name?
Joel Diaz.
Joel Diaz. Yep, Joel Diaz. Joel Diaz, brother. Let me just tell you, after speaking with him, he is not just confident, he is convinced that his man, Israel Madrimov, is going to shock the boxing world and pull off the upset, retaining his title, not just beating Terence Crawford, but he says he's going to stop him. And we'll try to get Joel on before the 3rd. But Rick, you're
better off getting him out after so you can laugh at him.
Yeah. And there it is, guys. But yeah, Terence Crawford, if you haven't ascertained by now, he is the real McCoy, guys. This guy is special.
Listen, he can age out overnight against Madrimov. Don't get me wrong, but those Terence Crawford that we've seen is more than capable of winning. So we'll see what happens.
Well, this is what Joel says. He says he's too big, too athletic, too strong, and his ring IQ is deceptively high. His athleticism, natural athletic gifts are deceptively strong. And that Crawford has never seen an animal like this ever. And it's going to be a shock.
Just keep in mind, when Crawford looks at a fight, there's 6 people that say yes to the fight besides him. His Bomac, his 3 assistants, and their advisor. There's a whole bunch of people here in play, and everybody thinks that Crawford beats him. So keep that in mind, too.
Yeah, very good. Very good point. I love it. Paulie Walnuts, welcome to the show, sir. He says, I heard Canelo Benavidez are negotiating in secret and Eubanks is a backup. And wrong.
What happened? What did you say?
He says, I heard Canelo Benavidez are negotiating in secret.
Not happening.
Chris Eubanks Jr. is the backup. Wrong.
Not happening. Not happening.
Nope. If anything,
Belanga's number one. Belanga's number 1, and Eubank is number 2.
Really? Because I heard that Eubank Jr. was being finalized for October in the Manchester Arena.
We'll see.
Oh, tell me what you know, Rick. Come on, buddy.
No, you might be right. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No. Pretend everyone is gone and pretend we're just on the phone together. Come on.
Well, first of all, you're not going to waste September on fucking Chris Eubank. You can go over do that fight in December or January. Go over and fight Eubank over there. You know, I mean, it makes no sense to do Eubank. You do a Mexican and a Puerto Rican is going to sell well over here, and get it out of the way. It's as mandatory, and then go over and fight what's his name over there.
From what I was told, Rick, that DAZN did not want to spend $35 million rock that he was looking to get for a Belanga matchup.
Belanga,
And that's
but here's the thing. There's two negotiations here going on. Heyman is trying to do Belanga or what's his name, or Eubanks, and the other and Eddie Hearn on Amazon, and then the other side, Hearn and his own are trying to do Chris Eubank or Belanga. So whoever offers him the money, the most amount of money, is who he's going to fight, and who he decides to fight. That's what's going on. So they're competing, is what they're going on.
Well, I tell you what, that is a very shrewd, very intelligent business move by Canelo Alvarez. And I can tell you this right now, Sky Sports, they're starving for great matchups. They were gutted by Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, respectively. And they have only Ben Shalom Boxer. So in my opinion, if I had to pull out my crystal ball, I would have to say no one's going to be able to match what Sky Sports is going to be willing to give Canelo at this time, starving for talent. That's just my guess. We'll see what happens, though, guys. The truth always reveals itself in time. Boxing scientists, welcome to the show, sir. Guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to our friend, Boxing Scientist, and thank you so much for supporting Rick on this day. T. Sanders says, true, Rick. I would tell my sparring partner to switch stances and hits hard on both stances. It's impossible to replicate Crawford. Yeah, it's virtually impossible. You've got to fly in right-handers. You got to fly in southpaws. You got to fly in guys who can fight at multiple ranges. Yeah, it's impossible to properly prepare for a nightmare-style matchup like Terence Crawford. That's it. That's it. Oh, and here's one day ago, Rick, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to get your thoughts. You said this a day ago. You want to know the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump? Biden can barely get up out of bed, and Trump gets up after being shot and bloodied. Wow. Rick, what the hell is going on with our fractured country, sir?
You feel that? No, I didn't. What was that? I don't know what's going on with that country. It's all wacky.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Yeah, Adam Lopez, Rick, sends his sincere apologies. He's arguing with Babe Lopez. That's why he's not here as our co-host, but hopefully he'll be joining us very, very soon. Hold on. Boxing scientists? Yeah, that's a good question. What's up with people not hitting the like these days? Thank you, sir. Please hit the like button, guys, for Big Rick Glaser. Look, let's go to another one that doesn't include anything political. Here it is. You said this a day ago. Boots Ennis looked very complete, but got hit a little too much by a stump-armed fighter. Good overall performance. Best of all the welters. Hashtag DAZN, hashtag Philly, hashtag boxing. Now, I'm going to ask you this, Rick, because you're well-versed in promotions, matchmaking, all of that. Can you see Jaron Boots Ennis becoming the biggest attraction that Philly has ever seen? Since the days of Russell Peltz, since the days of Benny Briscoe, what are your thoughts on the ceiling of Jaron Boots Ennis with Matchroom Sports?
Well, it was a good start the other day. Saturday night was a good start. It's yet to be seen, but I think the possibilities are there. It was a good start the other day. I don't know how many tickets they gave away. I'd have to hear that, but they did probably at least 10,000 really paid, so it was pretty good for a first time.
Indeed. But here's the if you were Eddie Hearn, if you were Matchroom USA, if you were Kevin Rooney Jr., how quick would you bring back Jaron Boots Ennis to Philly or Atlantic City? And who would you pair him up against? This is a real quandary at 47, sir.
I don't know. Too hard a question because I don't know how much money they're spending and stuff like that. And I don't know how much money they're going to spend. I would bring them back in November.
Mm-hmm.
So
that seems to be the plan
I take a weekend. I take weekend to Philadelphia. The Eagles are out of town, and go on a weekend that the Eagles are out of town on a Saturday night.
Mm. And there it is. And there it is. I will say this, though. We had Coach Gogi on, and he seems convinced that the best fight that would really galvanize fight fans and get them salivating for this matchup, for the next Jaron Boots Ennis fight. And it's a fight that he can win, but it's a very difficult fight, and it's a fight that would make him a star. Gogi seems convinced that that guy is a unification bout with Amantas Staniones.
Yeah, but PBC's not going to do that. Please, that's dreamland shit.
Yeah. See, that's the problem when trying to match up boots, Rick. Like, you run into that problem. Mario Varrio, same thing.
No, let's put it this way: if he would have signed with PBC, he instead of jumping to Eddie, he would be fighting Stanionis. So you got to blame that on the fighter too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And so why did he sign with Eddie Hearn? See, that's my point. I don't know where he goes from here.
Joe, I don't know. I really don't.
Well, I tell you what, then let's move on, because I tell you what, I don't think anyone has a clue, including Eddie Hearn. Like, really, I know he likes the idea of having this kind of talent in the U.S. market, but it does no good if you're paying him inflated purses for soft touches. Again, this is the same thing that everyone used to criticize Heyman for doing. But why doesn't Eddie Hearn get the same level of criticism?
Time out. You can't.
Yep.
You remember, David Azvanian fought Crawford, did well, got stopped, but did well. Respectable, and he was a 5-week replacement. The other fight, Crowley. Crowley was a undefeated mandatory. He pulled out with an eye problem. So you can't talk negative about the fight. You didn't hear me say anything negative about the fight.
No, I didn't. I said that myself. And once again, look, no discredit to Jaron Boots Ennis. He did what he had to do. David Avedisian made a very good account of himself. He landed some hard leather, and he suffered a broken jaw for his trouble. Not saying that, but I'm saying, where do you go from here? And especially if you're receiving $3 million for fighting Terence Crawford's leftovers. Okay?
No, he didn't
Where
get free.
No.
That was a misconception. That was a first bid, and he didn't fight that guy. So they went ass backwards. Yeah, he didn't get anywhere near that kind of money.
I understand.
Trust me.
Oh, you don't think? You're saying that Jaron Boots Ennis wasn't paid $3 million for this?
No, absolutely not.
Very good. Then that makes a lot more sense. Very, very good. Okay, well, here's your next tweet. This was 3 days ago. This was on Thursday, I guess. After being totally dehydrated, attempting to make 160 pounds, really sounds like Janabek Ali Manula could very well be moving up to super middleweight with his 168-pound limit. I think it's much safer than yesterday's.
Yeah, well, now he's come out and saying he's going to stay at one. Now he says he's going to stay at 160. That sends mixed signals to me.
Wow. What's going on here, Rick, in your professional opinion?
I have no clue. I know I wouldn't. I would take if he can't make 160 in the dead of the summer with all that heat out in Vegas. How's he going to, in a fight out in Vegas, how's he going to friggin' make 160 in November, December, January, February, March, April, and May? Not happen.
There it is.
Not do it safely.
Off the ropes. Welcome to the show, sir. Says actually he posted a picture today. Avenesian confirmed no broken jaw or ribs. Well, that doesn't help me giving him credit now, does it? He quit on his stool like a bitch. Chingao.
Well, no. The corner thought he had a broken jaw.
Yeah.
It may not turn out to be broken. He didn't quit. The corner stopped it, by the way.
I know. I saw that. And look, he was in a bad way. He had just been floored. He was, Jaron Boots Ennis was touching him up at will. Yeah, I thought it was a good call by the corner, to be honest.
Absolutely.
And there it is. And here it goes. Explain this, Rick. What do you mean by this, sir?
I got 13.
This was 3 days ago. New nickname for Eddie Hearn as of yesterday. It's now Ego Eddie. # boxing.
Self-explanatory.
Oh, but what prompted you to say that at that time? Is
Oh,
because he thinks he's the miracle man? He thinks he can
oh,
turn anyone into a
please,
superstar? Is that it?
please. You would have thought he beat cancer and became a world champion after being paralyzed, like Danny Jacobs, for Christ's sakes. Come on.
Look, why does everyone think that he is going to perform miracles with both Jerron Boots Ennis and Shakur Stevenson when he's got no one for them to fight in their respective divisions?
I have no idea.
Why can't anyone see that?
I don't have any clue.
Chingao, brother. Chingao. Well, I tell you what, I'm not even going to bring up the skerfuffle that you had online with Steven Espinosa and his burner account.
He's a jerk off. Seriously, he deserves to be unemployed.
Well, no comment, brother. No comment. Oh, Chihuahua. Let's see. No, I think that's about it for the Twitter. I will say this, though. Rick, maybe you can shed some light on this. Ticket sales. I just got off the phone with my brother Thomas Triber, who's going to be making the call for the entire undercard for that fight card in LA on August 3rd. Why are ticket sales so disappointing at this point? And is that an indication of how, well, the pay-per-view will perform in the States? Did Terence Crawford wait too long to get back in the ring, sir?
No, that's got nothing to do with it. It's a Mexican town. You got to feature a Mexican in the main event. Big name Mexican.
Yep. I was afraid of that. And I was telling Thomas this a long time ago. They picked the wrong venue. In your opinion, Rick, and you're very good at this, where would you have put this main event, Crawford versus Madrimov?
Probably New York City.
You know what? That's smart. That's smart. Oh, wow. Wow. Yep. Gotcha. I tell you what, now maybe I'm wacky. It would have been the dumbest thing or the strangest thing to put this at AT&T Stadium, the Jerry Dome, the house that Spence built.
No, it's still a Mexican clientele, unless Earl Spencer's fighting.
Really?
Yep.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens, guys. In my opinion, yeah, wrong venue, guys. And it's not going to create the greatest fight atmosphere for a fight card that is absolutely spectacular. And yeah, you might be right. The big house at the Madison Square Garden may have been the best venue. That or the Barclays Center. We'll see what happens, though, guys. We'll see what happens. Rick, what else would you like to talk about? Because it looks like we are all out of topics. We've already covered.
Well, let me leave us early, and next week we'll do an hour and a half. Okay.
Very, very good. Thank you, Big Rick, for giving us his time, sir. You have a wonderful evening, my friend.
Thank you for having me. Good night.
God bless you, my friend. I tell you what, guys, we are going to be online, and we're going to field any questions. I'm going to be waiting for Adam Lopez. As soon as he stops squabbling with his better half. Come on, brother. She's not going to wear the burqa. I'm sorry, Adam. Oh, guys, and I'm feeling very saucy. So I'm going to try this once again, seeing if anyone is bold enough to join me. I'm going to throw down the link, right? Here it is. And yes, Iceman, the cheapest tickets from what I was told are like $430. But when you consider where it is in the LA market, that's probably the same price as a cheeseburger over there. Just jiving, guys. Just jiving. But yeah, inflation is outrageous. And this is why you're seeing more promoters, more and more promoters, right? Stage fights outside of the California market. This is why Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya left California and are now operating out of Las Vegas, Nevada, because of that. Guys, I'm going to read something to you. I was just sent this news from James from the Boxing Source. So Nate Diaz sues. He says he is owed $9 million for the Jorge Masvidal fight. Wow. Fan Mio, the distributor, and the promoter Solomon Engel, he's claiming owes him $9 million. Wow. That's crazy. Well, I guess Fan Mio is claiming that it wasn't the big hit that they thought they were going to have. But my guy just told me that numbers said otherwise. But anyway, guys, it's of no consequence because it's Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. Who cares? But once again, this is the boxing business. So, look, no one has, and this is why they originally passed the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act, right? So that everything would have to be transparent. And when you slip on those boxing gloves and you step into a boxing ring, you are no longer a UFC fighter. You are now protected under the Muhammad Ali Boxing Reform Act covenant. And so you have to be transparent if you're a promoter or a network or a distributor. You have to be completely transparent to these prize fighters. And so I'm sorry if Fan Mio hasn't gotten the message or the memo. Yeah, sorry, guys. The racket's over. You can't rob these guys any longer. You can't steal money from these guys any longer. You have to be completely transparent. And if they want to see the financials, then you've got to report it to them. You've got to give it to them. That's it. No more of this shit. And so, guys, if you must know, promoters, that's why they started overpricing these licensing fees and sticking it to the networks. Well, the networks, they're making money hand over fist from their other programming. They're not going to miss a couple extra $1 million. It's not going to affect their bottom line. That was conventional wisdom anyway from promoters. The racket had changed hands. Instead of sticking it to the fighters, then they started sticking it to the networks. But that recently changed. If you wanted to know what the backlash was going to be with Showtime taking out their investment from the sport of boxing, well, here it is. Networks have gotten wise. They've said, wait a minute, Showtime is pulling out their investment, saying that boxing isn't cost effective? Well, I wonder if our investment is cost effective. It's worth it. So idiots on YouTube kept proclaiming and heralding Showtime exiting from the sport. A great thing, a reason to celebrate. No, it's not. Without Turkey Al-Sheikh blowing, bleeding money into the sport of boxing, guys, what would our year look like? I'll wait. That's a big problem. And then now, couple that with boxing fans trying to rationalize why they shouldn't have to spend money on their favorite pastime. That's why we're in the mess that we're in at this time. Guys, this is not good. Something has to give. And prize fighters, boy, they still want their millions. Oh, man, I want my bag. I deserve my money. I risk my health in the ring. I risk my life every time I put on the gloves. Jeez, guys. So what's the solution? What's the solution? Look at Terence Crawford's event in L.A. Once again, Turkey Al-Sheikh is working or learning on the job. Even though his advisors are, very smart boxing guys, they've never staged fights in the States. And they don't know this area. And who do they pick to be lead promoter? Not Bob Arum. No, they pick a Brit. Eddie Hearn is going to be lead promoter for this event. And he sticks it in L.A. Yeah, this is a real problem, guys. Why are you giving the keys to the castle to a guy like Eddie Hearn, who is, once again, like Turkey Al-Sheikh, learning on the job and doesn't quite know this area or territory like he does the UK? Why wouldn't you ask Arum to be the lead promoter on this event? Or hell, even Tom Brown, Golden Boy, anybody else? Why would you give that to Eddie Hearn? And then he's scratching his head. Well, I wonder why. America's best fighter, the world's greatest fighter at this time, Terence Crawford, he's not a big seller in the LA market. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Yeah, guys, boxing is, oh boy, I'll tell you what, makes me upset. And I tell you what, the fact that, Rick, so, yeah, he was kind enough to throw out that name, Kendo Castañeda. Chingao, dude. Anyway, he was supposed to fight Kenneth Sims Jr. coming up. Remember I was telling you guys several weeks back that I got the opponent for Kenneth Sims Jr.? Kendo Castañeda, where apparently he wanted more money. And he just shot himself in the foot, and now they're moving on. And my guy Kendo is not going to have this second opportunity, second chance in boxing to do something because he thought he was worth more money. You can't make this shit up, guys. Oh, Chingao. And that's why I responded to him, dude, why do we put ourselves through this, Rick? Because I wish I could say that this is the first time that this has ever happened to me. But it's not. Fighters. Ugh. So what, Don Chargan was absolutely right on the money. He warned me about all of this. He said, Joe, fighters will break your heart if you stay in the sport long enough. And if you invest your time, effort, and faith in these fighters, they will break your heart. And yeah, that is the God's honest truth. And rather than talking to me about it, what does he do? He invites someone else to negotiate for him. And what happens? He kiboshes the deal because he doesn't know anything about it and he's an idiot. So yeah, that's the kind of day I've had, guys. So thank you for hanging with us, guys. I appreciate it. And I apologize that Rick had to skedaddle. He's a very busy guy, just like we all are. And he's going to make it up to us next week, possibly this Sunday, because Gogi, I think he might be busy. Possibly this Sunday, meet with us for 90 minutes. So looking forward to that. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it because I spent a lot of time trying to help put this together. But look, in all fairness, Rick, I feel badly for him because he did most of the heavy lifting here. So anyway, there it is. There it is. Hawker Mustang, do you know Billy C. Boxing? He tried to promote fights once upon a time. Yes, I remember. Look, guys, this is not for the faint of heart, this business. And look, without the tutelage and the mentoring of the late, great Don Warwick Chargan, I wouldn't be doing this right now. I definitely wouldn't be doing this right now. Because if you don't have the right mentoring, if you're not taught the business, because to be honest, even in the San Antonio market, I'm merely standing on the shoulders of the great men who made this sport what it used to be. And let me tell you, just looking around outside the San Antonio market, it's a far cry from what it used to be. From the trainers to the promoters to the managers to the fighters, all the way across the board, guys. And Gogi shared his frustrations last night. And I didn't want to pile on, but you know what? I'm right there with him today. This is why Gogi will often be full of piss and vinegar when he gets on the show, because he understands all too well that it's almost like beating your head against a brick wall, guys. Almost like beating your head against a brick wall. It's like, what is the point? What is the point? But hey, Don also warned me about this. He said, Joseph, once you get bitten, once the boxing bug bites you, you can't get away from it. You are in it for life. And guess what? He was right about that too. You know, I can't say I can recall anything that Don was wrong about. He was right about everything. Iceman. If it wasn't for money laundering, boxing would be done. Sorry to say it. That's not true, my friend. That's not true. Money laundering? Come on. That's not true. That might be true for people who don't care about making money. But look, guys, and this is the truth about the business. It takes one sour money-losing event to put you in the breadline and out of the business for good. No, I'm telling you that he's not right, guys. I'm in this business. That's not accurate. Now, that might be accurate for someone like the owner of Pro Box. That might be accurate for someone like Turkey El Sheikh. But that's not accurate, guys. And this is why I love staying at the club level, because it's our money that we're investing. We invest our own dollars in these fighters. That's why we work so damn hard. Now, if you're like Bob Arum or like Eddie Hearn using network money, then yeah, it's no skin off your teeth. We don't have that luxury. And I'm telling you right now that you guys are wrong. But look, all you guys see, though, most of you guys, I shouldn't speak for all of you. Most of what you guys see is a guy like Bob Arum, 93 years old, who is merely shooting for par and not spending anything out of his own pocket. He has an annual allotment of $93 million per year, stage 25, 26 events per year on ESPN. And he has to stay within that budget. Why do you think he doesn't want to put, he wants to put as little events as possible on pay-per-view? One, he understands it's a damaged revenue stream. It's a damaged market strategy. And more often than not, you're going to lose money because these fighters do not want to invest in themselves. They want the big guaranteed purse And hey, if the network or the promoter loses money, no problem. Clean sport? Now, once again, you're speaking in rhetorical, just verbiage. Never said it was a clean sport. What sports are clean, though, brother? Tell me if you know so much. Clean how? Clean that every fighter is juicing to the nines and they want you to believe that they're a clean fighter? Is that what you're referring to? Is that what you're referring to? That they want to pretend like they're up in arms when they get their asses whooped and someone tests positive? See, I told you, the only reason why I got my ass whooped was because this guy's on steroids. Hey, don't look at me, even though I've got a conditioning coach and I'm taking supplements also, and I'm juicing to the nines. But don't bother with that. I didn't test positive. Is that what you're referring to? The prize fighters? Yeah, I would agree with that. But what are you referring to specifically, Iceman, since you know so much? Are you saying that promoters are shady? Are you saying that network executives are skimming? What are you saying? Are you saying that guys like me who work our asses off for these ungrateful, entitled bitches called fighters, are you saying that we're not clean? We're not on the up and up? We're not reputable? Because I tell you what, the only way you work in this business for 20 plus years is if you're a stand-up guy and you don't fuck anybody out of their money. Rick, he's been accused of, he launders money, he skims money off the... Brother, he would not have the working relationship that he does with so many clients around the world if he were a shady operator. Brother, why do you think I'm actually on my soapbox right now? What do you think I'm talking about? If it weren't my money, if I didn't invest my money in these fighters, in these events, in these fight cards, do you really think I'd give two shits about it? Ask Gogi, who's putting up the money for his fighters, for their lodging, their meals, their workout, their sparring. Ask him who's putting up the money for that. Ching, ow, man. Hawker Mustang. Paulie Walnuts was the only clean boxer. T. Sanders has the beat. We all have to invest in boxing if you're boxing. Look. If you want to be called the real bosses of boxing, you're going to have to invest in your favorite sport, pastime, because it's dwindled down to a fringe pastime in this country. Like in Floresville, Texas, and I had to duck out of this card because of reasons I won't mention, but yeah, they had a Cuban PBC prospect because they wanted to keep him busy. It was one of Joel Jose Senior's fighters, Benavidez, right? He PBC, Luis de Cubas, paid us to feature one of his prospects on our card out of necessity. And that's what this sport has come to. And I'm just telling you that this is a symbiont industry. And I've been ridiculed and criticized by people who don't know any better. Oh, you're not in boxing business. You're just on the club level. Brother, do you know how hard we work in developing prospects to get them to the world-class level? You're going to see several of our fighters over the next year appear on national TV, worldwide TV. Like the gentleman I was just talking about, Kendo Castaneda, he made it to the Pro Box finals of that tournament that they staged last year. Do you remember that? Yeah, that was Kendo Castaneda. I've been working with him since he was an amateur. Okay? Yeah, guys, it's this is a tough game. This is a tough business. And if we didn't love it, we wouldn't be doing this. And it is frustrating at times. Actually, quite a bit, but it's worth it if you love it. And if you have a thick skin for it. And I'll tell you what, it's more than just a labor of love at times. Brother, I work my ass off. You have no idea. We do a lot to create these guys, to cultivate ticket sellers and big attractions. I work my ass off to solicit sponsorship all around these communities for various promoters around the country. I work my ass off. There's a lot that goes into this, guys. Ido Galvez, welcome to the show, sir. He says, why does Eddie Hearn talk about making unifications with fights that unrealistic for him to make? That's right. He is a used car salesman just trying to get more money out of these networks, understanding that he cannot deliver on these matchups. He wants to sign these guys to big contracts because he understands it's not coming out of his pocket. It's network money. It's a racket, guys, that he's running. He knows who's he going to get for Boots Ennis, guys? Think about it. Who's he going to get for Boots Ennis that's going to generate that kind of coin or fanfare that he's promised to deliver to Boots Ennis? Who's he going to get for him? Yeah, but I work really hard at this, guys. And I do the podcast thing, guys, for all of you. Now, once again, it is for me as well. It's very therapeutic for me. And hopefully I can get this channel and we can make it big enough to where my prize fighters at the regional levels can actually benefit from coming on and chatting with you fine people. But it's not there yet. We are just under 1,500 subscribers. So, guys, if you can, please help out a brother. Please share. And if you guys would like to support any of my fighters, you can also donate to this. Oh, guys. Yeah, I will say this. If you don't have the support from a big network with deep pockets, it almost seems like a thankless endeavor because you get no love, you get no glory. And so now do you understand, though, why it pisses me off so much when I get a fan on here who's never worked a minute Sometimes I'll get a fan trying to argue with me about something about this business who's never worked a minute in their lives, in this business, haven't even been to a world-class gym before. And then they'll try to stand me up like I don't know what I'm talking about. It's quite insulting. This is why Gogi is the way he is. And occasionally you'll get a fan just trying to be a troll, right? And none of you guys do. You guys are awesome. And I consider all of you guys my extended family. And to be honest with you, it's almost become my therapy at times, like right now. I don't know if you feel like I'm on a couch right now and you guys are, no, go on. How else did that make you feel? Because that's the way it feels right now. I'm just venting because this business is a big, colossal pain in the ass at times. But you know what? It always seems to work out. Hard work almost always does. Just continue to have faith and continue to try and have fun with it. And the worst thing you could possibly do, one of the best pieces of advice Don Chargan gave to me was, hey, Joseph, don't worry, because it never helps. Hey, the only thing you can do is get great, knowledgeable, efficient people around you to help carry the load. And if you spread yourself too thin, then just delegate some of those duties. But don't worry. Trust the people around you. And work as hard as you possibly can to get it done. And you know what? Almost always it ends up getting done. And it's like after we finish an event, I'm like, wow, that was a chore. What do? We're quick and so we take maybe a couple days off and then we schedule the next one. Because we're sick like that, brother. Oh, geez. But it's worthwhile. It's a lot of fun. Ido says, Bob must be making money broadcasting those Japanese shows in that card in Managua. Look, he gets a percentage of everything that flows through Top Rank. On average, it's 20%. Right? Brother Rashid, welcome to the show, sir. Says Eddie Hearn claims that he is global, but does not understand the market in those countries. Look what's going on. The DAZN Japan shows. Look, guys, the only market that he is well acquainted with and understands completely is the UK. That's it. Oh, okay. Iceman, brother, why do you think I remain at the regional level? Because that's where real fans, real ticket buyers are. These fans in the greater San Antonio metropolitan area, they are the best fans on the earth. I'm convinced. They want to purchase a ticket. They want to love these fighters. They want to come out to the weigh-ins. They want to come out to the media events. They want to support these guys because they're living in the same area. They want to support these guys because they're homers. They love it. They feel like it's the next big franchise after the San Antonio Spurs. They're real fans, and they never complain about, oh, David Cardenas, he's not fighting this guy. Oh, that's bullshit. They never complain, and they're always happy to spend their money because it's fun. They come out, and we throw them a party. And we make all of them the VIPs. And you want to talk about us, mad at us? Oh my gosh, Iceman, you need to get a clue, brother. If you guys think that you guys actually matter in the big scheme of things, no one considers any of you guys hardcore fans a factor at this point. Like, it's laughable to everyone in this business. You guys carry on like you're something on Twitter. Oh man, we move the needle. No, you don't. It's already been proven statistically from Museo that the overwhelming majority of diehard fans don't pay for shit, yet they all complain. Oh, I'm not getting this matchup. I'm not getting this matchup. Well, I'm sorry, brother. Sounds like you're crying and complaining about something that you know very little about. I'll tell you what, brother. I stick up for everyone on this channel, and I consider all of you my extended family. But if it makes you feel like a more intelligent fight fan to go listen to an idiotic channel like Ring IQ or Boxing Voice or whatever, then maybe that's more your speed. If you don't feel like you're getting a quality boxing business education on this channel, well, then stay mired in ignorance, my friend. Because what I'm doing is trying to teach you guys about this business. Why do you think I feature guys like Rick Glaser? Why do you think I feature guys like James Gogi, who is a master at teaching the X's and O's of the sport? Why do you think I'm on here professing and trying to explain everything about the business to you guys? Why do you think Ronnie Shields is on this show every week? Guys who actually have the patience to talk about the business with you guys and not just spread idle fan gossip that means absolutely nothing at the end of the day. Why do you think? Do I treat you guys like you're idiots? No, I'll actually take the time to explain everything to all of you guys with the respect and understanding you guys will get it. Now, if you don't appreciate that, then hey, brother, I can't help you. Go to the Boxing Voice. Talk about nonsense and noise that means absolutely nothing at the end of the day. Because right now, I'm feeling very underappreciated right now. Not just from the fighters that I work with, not just from promoters that I work with, but right now, I'm feeling a little underappreciated from my extended family. So I'll tell you what, guys, it's been a long day. And if you guys don't think that you're actually learning something from being on this channel, maybe I'm not doing it for the right reasons. Okay, let's get back to educating you guys, right? And talking about the business and giving you the skinny, pulling back the curtain. Why do people hate on PBC even when they do good? Because people like to pile on. Look, and you'll hear idiots like assholes. I shouldn't say idiots because he's not an idiot. He's an asshole, but he's not an idiot. That's why you see assholes like Steve Kim consistently bring up what Al Heyman did to ruin the boxing business and the boxing landscape in America. He wants to go back a decade ago, right? And drudge up the way Al Heyman gutted Golden Boy Promotions and left them for dead. And you'll occasionally hear me say that because I was working with Don Chargan at the time and he was their senior advisor. He's the guy, the same guy who taught me the business is the same guy who taught Oscar and Eric the business, as well as Richard Schaefer. But that's why. Because of it, all boils down to the way they formed PBC, eating up all of their TV dates for Golden Boy. Heyman was taking all of his fighters and convincing Richard Schaefer at the time that it was a good idea to feature my talent, but you can't sign them for long-term Golden Boy deals. No contracts. They're free agents. I'm free to take them, come and go as often as I please, because they're the best fighters in boxing, damn it. And it would benefit you guys to use my fighters, my talent, to furnish or to feature in all of your massive TV dates. At one point in time, Golden Boy was by far the biggest promoter in the world, having TV dates scattered across HBO, Showtime, Telefutura, ESPN, everywhere. And 1 year, I think they staged over 80 events in 1 year. Do the math, guys. There's only 52 weeks in a year, right? That's how many dates that they had at one time under Richard Schaefer and Don Chargan. And they had so many dates that they used Al Heyman's talent. And what did Al Heyman do? As soon as Golden Boy used their matchmakers and TV dates to build them to a certain level, Al Heyman took them all, yanked them all from Golden Boy Promotions, and started up PBC using that Waddell and Reed money, putting it on free TV for all the fans, but because it was very well known what he had done to Richard Schaefer and Golden Boy. Everyone just threw daggers at him, had an axe to grind with the evil Al Heyman. And for good reason at the time. He was paying these guys with that Waddell and Reed money absurd inflated purses that far exceeded their market value. And so if you wonder why people still have an axe to grind with Al Heyman, it's all because of that. And that's their prerogative. Do I anymore? No, because it's not good for the health of the sport. The demise of any promotional entity is never good for the health of the sport. And the only bias that you will see on this channel, the only bias that you will ever see on this channel is if it's good for the health of the sport, I am wholeheartedly for. If it's bad for the health of the sport, then I am wholeheartedly against it. And what you will often hear on this channel is me explain to you the two biggest problems with boxing right now in the domestic market USA is paying out inflated purses and piracy. Those two factors, those two things, those two issues are killing our beloved boxing in the American market. Now, I defy any of you guys to go to any other boxing channel on YouTube that is professing the absolute truth about boxing at this time. No one talks about this. And you are getting this boxing education for the low, low price of absolutely nothing. So I hope you guys appreciate it. So do you understand why it's very insulting when I hear fans argue about this being a corrupt sport, or argue about, oh, promoters are just greedy, and oh, fighters they're not fighting this guy, and it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's why I get a little miffed, guys. And today is just one of those days. Forgive me for not being the jovial, happy-go-lucky guy I usually am. But it's been a long day. It's been somewhat of a rough day. So, Mr. Rager, Mr. Rager, I hope that answers your question, my friend. Mr. Rager says, Steve Kim is becoming a relevant journalist writing for Snack. Yep. How could you get low views with Mario Lopez? That's a very good question, my friend. Because he's an asshole and everyone knows it now. On top of being an asshole, he's a racist as well. Well, Iceman, as long as you tell me that you learned something from our discussions, then it was all worth it. If you could just humor me like that and say, you know what, Joseph, I learned something today. Thank you, brother. Then it was all worth it, my friend. Thank you for being here. Rasheen says this. I thought it was because Steve Kidd is clearly biased toward Top Ranks and goes to every fight. He's just an asshole. And to be honest with you, no one cares whether or not he goes to any fights any longer. Because just like Mr. Rager said, oh my gosh, Ice, really, dude? Really? Well, dude, that's on you, brother. That's not on me. That's on you, brother. Dude, please issue an LOL at the end of that so I know you're fucking with me. Otherwise, I'm going to feel like I just wasted all my time. Yeah, I thought everybody that have been watching, well, look, everyone who doesn't listen to this channel, which is a lot of boxing fans, they're oblivious. They don't understand concepts like market value. They don't understand concepts like inflated purses. They seem to be under the impression, like some of these delusional, idiotic fighters, that, oh, you know what? You're worth as much as a promoter's willing to pay you. No, that's not the case. This is why you guys are often referred to as the real bosses of boxing, because you determine a fighter's worth. And when you steal this shit, just like inflated purses, it skews the market. So you may be tuning in, but if you're not paying for it through subscriptions or pay-per-views or ratings on ESPN, then yeah, it skews the marketplace. Then these fighters, you support them on Twitter or Facebook or wherever, Instagram, and they've got a certain amount of likes, but wait a minute, how come it doesn't equate to ratings or ticket sales or pay-per-view sales? What's going on here? I thought I had several million followers. That's what's going on, guys. And that's why guys like Shakur Stevenson, they walk around thinking they're the bigger stars than they are. Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, everyone. The list goes on and on and on. Because they get all kinds of support on social media, but where are they when it comes time to purchase a ticket or buy a pay-per-view or legally tune in by paying for a subscription? It's not there. That's why I tell you it's laughable that anyone complains. Because we're not stupid. Statistics have already proven. Statistics have already proven that the overwhelming majority, not just 52%, the overwhelming majority of diehard fight fans no longer financially support their favorite pastime, supposed favorite pastime. Why do you think networks and promoters are trying to devise more ways to get guys like Jake Paul, Mike Tyson involved? Shit circus events like Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal. Why do you think that's happening, guys? KSI, YouTube fighters. Why do you think that's happening, guys? Because the demographic that promoters and networks could always rely on in the past It's not there any longer. We can't rely on those guys any longer. Why do you think I'm at the club level? Because I can rely on these guys to consistently show out. Hold on. Let's see this. I've been watching boxing for many decades. Good, man. I've been watching the NFL over 4 decades. That doesn't make me an expert in the NFL and in football. So what are you trying to say? Demetrio, Steve Kim is one of the top brutally. Okay, no hate on him. Brutally honest. That doesn't mean he's right or accurate. That just means he's an asshole. I think what you say is brutally opinionated. That's what I think you mean to say. And he comes across as an asshole. And no one cares whether or not he attends an event. Not at the club level, not at the national level. Ocker Mustang says, Floyd Mayweather many times brag about robbing the bank. Yep. And what was the effect that it had on boxing? Look, the entire boxing community in this country is still trying to shake off the stench left from Mayweather-Pacquiao. Steve Kim never seemed racist to me. Yeah, because you don't have ears. Ching Gao, guys. I think diva boxers a major problem in boxing. Yep, that's what we've been talking about it. Inflated person. I just explained why they have this diva mentality. And guys, it's become an epidemic in this country. You don't see it happening in other countries, guys. Okay, that's a very good question, Iceman. Why football fans don't feel the pressure to throw all their money into the sport? Because it's not a niche sport. It's our national pastime currently. It's the biggest U.S. pastime in existence. And with the amount of eyeballs and attention that every game in their regional market gets, with that comes big-time sponsorship dollars. And with big-time sponsorship dollars, that pays for everything. That pays for network interest. You guys don't have to pay for shit unless you look at a team, unless you support a team that's out of your regional market. Then you have to pay for the NFL game day package, right? Like if you're from Dallas and you love the Redskins, you're only going to see 2 games throughout the entire season if you don't subscribe to the NFL game day package. And unlike boxing diehards, they don't mind forking over that extra coin. Do you ever hear of an NFL fan complaining? Look, I'm a huge MLB fan. I love my Cincinnati Reds. And I'm going to have fun watching the All-Star game tomorrow. Ellie De La Cruz is going to be representing my Cincinnati Reds. And I pay for the MLB extra innings package every single year so I can watch my Cincinnati Reds every single game without fail. I never complain about that because I love my Reds. So my question to you is, why don't you guys have that same allegiance and support financially? Why would it be bad if PBC went out of business? Brother, they're already out of business. Why do you think Tank Davis and PBC is having to... Why do you think they're having to negotiate and put together a deal with ESPN and Top Rank at this time? Do you think they want to do that? You look at their history of dealing with Tank Davis, trying so hard to keep everything in-house. They're not doing that now. Why do you think that is? Because they're out of fucking business. In addition, boxing is no longer the only combat sport in town. They have major competition from the UFC. That is true. The less educated fight fan, the mainstream and casuals have almost all gravitated towards UFC. Yeah, Kim never seemed racist. Racist to whom, Joe? Brother, I'm not even going to go into that. I can just tell you, I know for a fact that he is. Look, I'm not going to go there, but I already know that he is. He has a disdain for a specific demographic, and it's not Mexicano, definitely not Asian. Football, NFL gives you the best versus the best. So does boxing. So we didn't see the best fighting the best when Fury fought Usyk. Boxing doesn't. You mean over the past 2.5, 3 years, we haven't seen 7 or 8 undisputed matchups to determine undisputed supremacy in a specific division? We haven't seen that. You mean we just didn't see Bam Rodriguez versus El Gallo Estrada? We didn't just see Usyk versus Fury. Brother, hand over some of that shit that you're smoking. Iceman, you need to donate more money to Shakur's team. Brother, tell me when Top Rank and Shakur Stevenson has demanded money from you guys for a Shakur Stevenson fight. I'll wait. Guys, I honestly, I think you guys just like to complain. I think just you guys just like to complain. Mr. Rager, I didn't say that. You said it, but you're right on the money. Oh, here it goes. You want to know why game day? Because I often hear fans bring this up to me, thinking that they're making a logical argument. Okay? Let me ask you this. Does boxing game day? Now, please answer my question. I'm directing this directly to you. Okay? I'm directing this to you. So, does boxing have the luxury of featuring the Cowboys versus the Redskins every single year? No, they've got decades and decades history, decades of history, historic matchups, decades of cultivating these attractions. And they can just switch out a jersey and put a different name on it, and you're going to support that franchise. How long do you think does it take a promoter or a network to build a specific fighter? Because we're dumb enough. We're not like UFC. We don't just say UFC number 298 million and then feature the fighter secondary. No, we're stupid enough to promote the actual individual like a bunch of idiots. How long do you think it takes to build a mainstream attraction to the point where it starts to make everyone involved a lot of money? How long do you think it takes to build those matchups? How long did it take to build Fury versus Alexander Usyk to where it became the toast of the boxing universe? How long do you think it took to build Crawford versus Spence to where everyone wanted to see it? How long does it take to build a Tank Davis? How long does it take to build a Canelo Alvarez? It took Floyd Mayweather Jr. 11 years of being a pro before he started making big-time attraction money. Other sports? Yeah, boxing doesn't give us the best versus the best because it takes years to cultivate those attractions. Football, the NFL, it's built in. You've got decades, rivalries that spanned way before you were born. So don't give me this shit, man, that boxing doesn't feature the best fighting the best. Oh, but the NFL does. You know what? They've got decades on us, brother, even though we're an older pastime historically. But we're dumb enough to support and promote individuals. And then guess what? The fighters, do you really think they're grateful for it? Nope. For the past half decade almost, Top Rank has been doing everything they can to promote Shakur Stevenson. How does he repay them? Oh, I'm going to go look for greener pastures. I think Eddie Hearn is the best promoter in boxing. Really? He can kiss my ass. So that's why. That's why. So tell me, when Haney, Shakur, Tank all fought then, bro? I'm sorry, Haney didn't fight Vasyl Lomachenko. Haney didn't just fight Ryan Garcia. Shakur, he didn't fight Oscar Valdez. He's not on the cusp of getting the winner. Or if he stayed with Top Rank, or if he signed with Golden Boy, he would get himself the William Zepeda fight. But no, he's stupid. And he's going to sign with Eddie Hearn, and he's going to get none of those fights. Fury versus Joshua. Never fought, so tell me how we can... Brother, you're picking out two fighters. Weren't you just complaining about Usyk fighting Fury? Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't those the two best heavyweights in the world? Who the fuck is Joshua? Are you still sore that you didn't get Wilder versus Joshua? Brother, you're complaining just to complain. Ching out, guys. It's like, why do you even watch then? Why do you even watch boxing? Does it make you feel more intelligent to complain about absolutely nothing? I said it took 3 to 2 years to get... Oh, I'm sorry. How long did it take? When did you first become interested in seeing Fury versus Usyk? Because it didn't seem like anyone was interested in Fury versus Usyk until, one, after Fury announced his retirement, and two, Usyk beat Joshua the first time. And I'm sorry, who else wants to see Andis versus Crawford? Crawford is competing at 54 now. He's outgrown the division. And one, because he's, getting older. Two, there's no money in that division any longer. Andis? Who the hell is Jaron Andis? Is he a big-time attraction? Brother, he just got his first world title, and it was emailed to him. He just had his first title defense. Brother, you sound like a bitch. Correct me if I'm wrong. You sound like a whiny bitch who doesn't know what the hell you're complaining about. I'm sorry. You sound like a bitch. You sound like someone who just loves to hear yourself complain. Thinking that, now, somewhere along the way, fight fans You guys used to be respectful. You guys used to be the best, most devoted fans on the planet. And since the dawning, since the advent of social media, you guys have turned into the absolute worst crybaby fans on the face of the earth. And I'm only talking about the ones in the States. Not only do you guys no longer financially support your supposed favorite pastime, but you guys like to complain, tricking yourselves into thinking that it's a more intelligent way of looking at the sport. Well, brother, to anyone who actually knows what this business is like, quite the contrary. You guys sound like a bunch of whiny titty babies who don't want to spend money and just love to hear your gums flap and complain about absolutely nothing. That's what you guys sound like. Joe cooking us and we cooking Joe. Look, only from an ignorant fan perspective would you believe that anyone is cooking someone in this business. Because unless you actually have been in this business for a considerable amount of time, and I'm being nice when I say this, you guys don't know half as much as you think you do. Maybe you think you're experts compared to your next door neighbors because boxing has been reduced to a fringe pastime. Maybe you think you're an expert because you can tell the guy standing next to you in the grocery line who the current IBF champion is at 147 pounds, and they can't. But if you guys think you know enough to argue with anyone in this business, you guys are high on crack. I'm sorry, is Game Day 888 subscribed into my channel? I never see him here. I never see him in the live chat. Because most people who are subscribers understand not to come at me with this nonsense. Okay, Game Day, whose fault is that since you know so much about this business? Is it Top Rank's fault? Is it the fans' fault? Has he ever been featured on pay-per-view? Is he not featured on free TV? Whose fault is it then? Do you know why Teofimo doesn't get... Do you know why he didn't get the Ryan Garcia fight? See, I can tell Game Day's not an avid listener or a subscriber. Because everyone in this group, right? Everyone in this chat already knows why Teofimo Lopez, why Haney fought Ryan Garcia and not Teofimo Lopez. Everyone already knows that. Do you know why, Game Day? So who are you laying the blame on right now, brother? You blame it on Bob Arum just like every other ignorant fan does? Take a guess. Take a guess, brother, because everyone who listens to this channel and doesn't frequent the Boxing Voice or Showbiz, the Bug-Eyed Fool, right? Or Fanon or whoever the hell those guys are. No one who listens to those channels knows this. And everyone who's in this chat right now, except for you, knows exactly who to blame. So I'll tell you what, do yourself a favor and subscribe to this channel. Right? You might actually learn something about this business. And look, all kidding aside, I hope you actually learned a lot about the business tonight. Because I've been going in hard, brother, because I'm in one of those moods. So I'm still waiting for your answer. Who do you think is to blame, brother? Because everyone in this chat knows what I told them last December, that Bob Arum, as well as Frank Warren and Turkey LL-Sheikh and Golden Boy Promotions were negotiating a big-time super fight in Saudi Arabia. It was supposed to be in the co-main event of Anthony Joshua Francis Ngannou. And they were negotiating a fight between Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia. And guess what? Teofimo, to this day, is the only guy I've ever heard of that has priced himself out of a fight in Saudi Arabia, demanding way too much money. Because he was the title holder, he had just beaten Josh Taylor. And in his mind, oh, I'm the undisputed champion. I'm the guy with the Ring Magazine belt. I'm the guy with the WBO. I should make the lion's share. And Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy, they're like, brother, you need to lay off the crack pipe. You're lucky I'm giving you 25%. No, I think they gave him something really generous. I think they gave him 30% of the back end. They were willing to give him a third. And he wasn't happy because he thought because he had the belts in his infinite wisdom that he deserved to get 75% or at least the lion's share. And so that fight fell apart. In steps Devin Haney. He got the opportunity, not Teofimo. You're not going to hear that on any other channel because they have no idea what the hell's going on behind the curtain. Joe, it's hilarious. Welcome to the show, Tony. It's good to see you, my friend. Joe said, Joe, it's hilarious. Remember when they first announced the Fury versus Usyk? That boxing fans were saying that Usyk didn't deserve the fight. Cruiserweight division wasn't good. Well, look, before he even moved up and was made the decision to move up to commit to heavyweight, I told you guys a long time ago, 3 years ago, in fact, that if Usyk ever decided to move up, he would wreak havoc on the heavyweight division. Because this is a guy who has middleweight skills and heavyweight size. And look, he just beat Tyson Fury. And it was a glorious undertaking. And Game Day wants to complain that the best don't fight the best. Holy shit. Joe, where and when was this Teo versus Ryan fight in Saudi reported? All I heard was Teo turned down an Oscar offer for $2 million to fight Ryan. Brother, it's because you listen to shit channels who don't know shit about this business. Brother, I'm an active working member of this business. This is like, if you want accurate pay-per-view numbers, you're going to listen to this channel. If you want accurate purse amounts or the skinny before it actually happens, you're going to listen to this channel. Because I know most people in this business. I've been a working participant, active participant in this business for over 20 years. And unlike the Pro Box channel, we don't just talk about nonsense and noise. The reason why we created this channel 3 years ago, me and James Gogi and Ronnie Shields, was to educate fans. Now, the ideology behind this Game Day was our ideology and our basis for this was, look, if we educate the fans on the business, then they'll complain less and understand and appreciate the sport more. And with that said, I think I just described the overwhelming majority of the chat. Our extended family of the chat, I think they are, and I stand by this, the smartest, most knowledgeable and appreciative fans in the entire world, because they know more. They know more than 99% of the fans that you're going to talk to on Twitter. And that's why we formed the channel. And if you'd like to become an extended family member, then please subscribe, sir. Thank you, brother. No, I read Boxing Scene and follow people like Mike Carpenter, so I'm very... Okay, brother. You're getting fake shit. Mike Carpenter. Okay. Well, then keep on keeping on, brother. Go argue with Mike Carpenter. Well, guess what? He won't give you the fucking time of day. Go argue with Steve Kim then. Oh, wait a minute. He won't give you the fucking time of day. So what are you actually saying? You think you're more well-informed than I am? Being in this business for over 20 years? Is that what you're saying, Game Day? You think you're more well-informed than Rick Glaser? James Gogi? Ronnie Shields? You really? Oh, shit. Oh, dude. I read Boxing Scene, though. That is hilarious. Dude, T. Sanders, once again, you're my brother. And you understand the reality already. But it's obvious that Game Day doesn't. And honestly, I was just in this kind of mood. Oh, is it a rumor you heard, dude? No, rumors. That's what you're hearing on Twitter, reading on Twitter. An actual journalist. Game Day. Do you know how I got my start in this business? Before I ever worked with any promoters, I was a journalist, dude. I was a journalist, and I used to write for every major periodical. And I found that there was a lot more money working with promoters and working with fighters and working with matchmakers. Every job there is to do in this business, publicist work, matchmaking, working with promoters, ring announcing, color commentary. I've done it all, brother. Now listen to this idiot. You a YouTuber just like anyone else. So I just... Dude, shut the fuck up, man. Now, dude, I'm going to block your stupid ass. Because now you're insulting me. You're putting me in the same category that your dumbass is. Game Day, you're as sharp as a marble, brother, because I've been trying to give you a world-class boxing education today. And your stupid ass is too ignorant and arrogant, which is the worst combination in human history to have as an individual. You're both ignorant and arrogant to fucking listen. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that, brother. Game Day Joe. Learn the business from one of the best promoters of all time and one of the best matchmakers of all time. He's no longer with us. God rest his soul. He taught me everything I know about this business. Don War-A-Week jargon. That's why we're W.A.W. Boxing. War-A-Week Boxing. Now, if you think you actually learned more from reading Boxing Scene or reading Mike Carpenter, then go on with your bad self, sucker. Oh, geez. Mike Carpenter could never say that he worked with Emmanuel Stewart for over 3 years. That's right, unofficial Cuban national. Welcome to the show. Most YouTubers have never even been to a world-class gym before. They've never even purchased a ticket or supported a promoter or worked with a promoter or worked with an individual prize fighter. They haven't done shit. And so they don't know. Hawker Mustang has the beat. I usually get all my fake boxing news from the LDBC. Yep. because they're merely throwing shit against the wall. Now, once again, guys, you can always tell these idiots on YouTube, the overwhelming majority of them, they will try to connect the dots, and they always seem to formulate the wrong picture, and they're way off. And why? Because they don't know two shits about this business. Yep. No. The reality is the ego, all of it, was on the side of Teofimo Lopez and his ignorant ass. That guy thought he was worth, because he had the Ring Magazine belt and he had the WBO title, he thought he deserved the lion's share. And he thought it was insulting to be offered $3 million plus 30% of the back end, or 40%, or something like that. Basically the same deal that Devin Haney got. He thought that was insulting because he was the one with the titles. Well, what did he get as a consolation prize? Yeah, he just fought Schooner from whatever the hell his name is, from Canada. The Canuck. Yeah, thanks for playing, Teofimo, dumbass. So once again, you're not going to hear anything like that from Dan Raphael or Mike Coppinger or anyone else who reports on Boxing Scene. Hey, brother, do you know how many? Well, where's Game Day? Where'd he go? Did he leave? Did he leave with his tail between his legs, or is he still listening? Because see if you can tell me how many of these guys are getting paid by Boxing Scene to give them their time and their articles. How much do they make per article, you think, huh? Can you tell me that, Game Day? No, he's probably gone. He probably got enough abuse. Now, once again, only idiots would look at it as abuse rather than actually me trying to teach them something. Chingao, man. No, dude, I don't care enough about you to block you. Once again, Game Day, in all seriousness, brother, I hope you appreciate everything that you learned today. Hopefully, you weren't pissed enough and you weren't so fixated on you being right that you actually listened and learned something about this business. I'm sorry? You want to know the source? Sure, I'll tell you. Bruce Trampler from Top Rank. I've got his number. Do you want it? Oh, yeah. Honestly, today, I usually don't like to argue, but today I'm really enjoying it because I've had one heck of a day, guys. And so thank you, Game Day, for being my punching bag of sorts. But no, all joking aside, that's it. Bruce Trampler from Top Rank, a guy who was an active participant, an executive at Top Rank, a Hall of Famer, who's one of the best guys you'll ever meet in this business, and also an avid baseball fan. He is one of the greatest matchmakers of all time. That's who told me this. Now, if it gives it more validity for you to read it on Boxing Scene, well, I tell you what, I can write up an article real quick and submit it to Boxing Scene, and they'll publish it. They'll publish anything that I write them. Because here's something between you and I actually frequently write press releases for several fighters, and they publish it under Boxing Scene staff. I also publish on Boxing News 24 as well as Fight News. Hey, there you have it, brother. If it makes you feel better, yeah, I'll do that next time. How's that? brother. No. I don't love to argue. Honestly, it's just been one of those days. To be honest with you, I find it rather insulting that anyone wants to argue with me. After everything that I've been through in this business. Don Mashevsky. Yeah. In fact, he was just at the Shakur Stevenson event in Newark, New Jersey. And he actually said he fell asleep. And the final bell, he said, woke him up. Great guy. But game day knows more than I do. Yeah. Because he reads Boxing Scene and Mike Coppinger. That is hilarious. Dude, that's one of the best things I've read in a long time. Yeah, I was in a bad mood already, guys. My apologies. Look, serious question. If you tell your sources, won't you lose your... No. I don't care about press passes anymore. If I want to go to an event, I'll call up the press guy, press agent. If I want to go to a Top Rec event, I'll call up Evan Korn and say, hey, brother, I want to talk to Bruce or I want to talk to Brad about a fighter that I have. And I'm going to bring him along. Okay? So can you get me 2 press passes or 2 passes? Yeah. And they're ready. They're ready at the door. Okay? But as far as revealing my sources, it all depends on what I'm being told. Like anyone who listened to my show when I was a little inebriated with Adam Lopez, they understand that I let way too much. I revealed way too much during that episode. Brother, you have no idea what's fair and what isn't. Oh, dude, you know what? Dude, I'm done with you. You're an idiot. Okay? Once again, the worst possible human trait combination is arrogance mixed with ignorance. All right? So, off with you, brother.
Well, news source, I see your credit. I'll give you more credence. That's fair.
Dude, shut up, dude. Anyone who listens to this channel frequently know a lot more than your stupid ass because you don't hear them complaining about anything. They already know this stuff. Sorry that you're late to the party. So you can kiss my ass. And if you think you know more, well, then go back to the Boxing Voice or go back to Mike Cappinger or whomever. I'm done with you now. You're an idiot and you've already insulted me way too much. And I'm not in the mood. I tried to be nice. I tried to teach you something, but you're too stupid. And your head is made of Kevlar. Nothing's getting through there. So kiss my ass and go F yourself. I'm just going to leave that up there for you, game day. Once again, I've been nice up to this point. So I'm sorry, Mike Coppinger, he doesn't know 20% of what I know about this business. Why do you think Bob Arum called him an effing prick? Because he said something stupid to Bob. Bob doesn't put up with that shit. I'm actually nice. If you actually tried to tell Bob Arum that some of the bullshit that you've been shoveling here today, if you tried to tell Bob Arum that, he'd turn around and walk away from your stupid ass. And I've seen it happen. Have you? Have you ever seen that happen? No. Oh, boy. Why did the WBC do this mandatory today? Because it was and once again, if you guys listen to the show, I told you that this was going to happen. I don't know if it's still going to come to fruition, but this was already in play when Shakur Stevenson announced that he was going to be a free agent. And remember, I told you guys this last week. And you could read it on the rumor mill because I told James Bell from the Boxing Source this insider information. Right? Do you remember last week? Told you guys they were planning on, and it was brilliant, genius plan. Adam and I, or James and I, talked about this last week. Said that Golden Boy's plan initially was to force Shakur Stevenson into a purse bid while Shakur didn't have promotional support, and it was absolute genius until they found out how much money this guy wanted or demanded. Now, what's more than likely going to happen if they don't back out of this is Eddie Hearn is more than likely going to win a purse bid with like $5 or $6 million. And so WBC, as always, are a little late to the party. So I'll be very surprised if this even goes to purse bid. If I had to guess, and this is just a guess now from what I know, if I had to guess, Golden Boy are going to announce tomorrow or the next day that they're going to go a different route and they're going to petition to the WBO and Paco Vericel that they're interested in a fight with Dennis Baranchik now. Game day. Did you just listen to anything that I just laid down? Giving you once again insider information? Because I told everyone that this was going to happen with the WBC and Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda. I told everyone that this was going to happen last week. Are you that stupid? Or are you just that butthurt, man, that I put you in your place? You're still on this journalism bullshit. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, shit. Oh, goodness gracious. Hey, and you don't have to. Once again, the truth is always revealed in time. The truth always reveals itself in time. And how many times do I tell you guys everything that's going to happen and it's ultimately revealed? I tell you guys first. Joe, I care about. Thank you, my friend. You're an uncle to me. You know what? God bless you, my brother. And your family to me as well. Don't let an idiot like this let your blood pressure. You know what? That's very nice. Thank you. And you're absolutely right, brother. Thank you for saying that, my friend. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that, man. But yeah, guys, that's the reason why the WBC just came out with that today. They're a little late to the party. But to their defense, they did request or they did receive this petition by Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, and Eric Gomez to put this in motion. And that was their initial plan, was to force Shakur Stevenson because they understood, and he was very vocal about becoming a free agent. And so their plan was to force this into purse bid and to get a more accurate depiction and show Shakur Stevenson what his real market value actually was. But they've decided to shift gears after meeting with Shakur Stevenson's people, saying, and it's very smart, saying that, look, we're not going to make a deal with Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson unless we get options on Shakur Stevenson's next 3 fights. That's what Rick and I just talked about today. And so, yeah, more than likely, they're going to move in another direction, and Rick alluded to that as well, that they're more than likely going to go take on and make a deal, much easier and less expensive fight to make, with Dennis Brenchick and William Zepeda. And once again, you heard it here first, guys. Or did Mike Coppinger beat me to it? Oh, that's rich, man. Oh, geez. Anyway. Guys, I've been on here now for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I guess Adam Lopez stood me up, and he's having too much fun with Babe Lopez this evening. And guys, I think that's about it. Who? I'm sorry. I don't acknowledge guys who are only 5 foot nothing. I have no idea. I don't talk to Mike Coppinger. There's no need. If I want to know something, I just give someone a call. Brother, I said this last week. Oh, geez. You know what, dude? You're an idiot. I'm oh, shit, jump tube. Don't say that, man. Dude, that was an awesome story, though, wasn't it? The Walmart story, quote unquote, Walmart story from Adam. Dude, Adam, I tell you what, he is an amazing dude. He is so funny, man. He is probably the best addition that I brought to this is probably the best addition. He's the best addition I brought to Warwick Boxing. Oh man, that's so good. He's so good, man. He's so funny. He makes me laugh. Jeez. And you know what? I will say this. And I told you guys that I was going to go back to my sobriety. And I meant every word of it. But tonight, yeah, it really tested that. And praise Jesus. Praise the Lord. Thanks be to God that, I stayed clean and sober for this. So game day, if you got the horns, brother, that's why. Because, I had a rough day. So thank you for being a good sport, my friend. And I once again, I hope you were humble enough to actually learn something. And if you want to continue to learn more about this business, please subscribe. Please come back. Okay? But don't be such an ass. Oh, jeez. Joe, as a person who covers the sport as long as you have, can you explain how guys like Dan Rafael... look, I don't know if Dan Rafael has any credibility. I have no idea. To the best of my knowledge, no one gives him anything really. Unless he kisses their ass or I don't know. But he's not affiliated with ESPN or USA Today, so why would anyone give him anything? Who the hell reads Dan Rafael any longer? Okay. Yep. Adam was upset that Spence is gay. Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons why. Mainly because I had a terrible day today. Rough day. I shouldn't say terrible because no day is terrible when you get a chance to wake up and receive the Lord's blessing on this day. Now, if it doesn't go the way you hope, well, you just try harder tomorrow. I'm not going to get drunk around Errol Spence. I wouldn't advise that either. Oh, guys, it's gone to the end of the road here, guys. But I want to thank all of you for joining me. Oh, hold on. Anthony, you say, Joe, do you think a guy like Oscar, instead of becoming a promoter, would have become a great trainer? Or who would have respect way too much of his fighters? To be honest with you, I think he's regretting becoming a promoter. Because look, it's not revealing too much that he has been very, very close to selling Golden Boy Promotions several times. But he loves being around the fight game. He loves it. It keeps him young. He loves being around the gym. He loves being around the fighters. He loves it. He loves being in the game. But he hates it at the same time, just like all of us do. Oh, geez. Hold on. Why is PBC putting on the Caleb Plant fight, and how could they afford to pay him? Is that official? Is it official? Did they make an announcement? Unless it was made today, that's news to me. And once again, I have no idea how they can afford to pay him. They're out of money. Oh, look. Unless it's announced, don't believe it, guys. Oh, they're in the process of making. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. Just like they're in the process of making Errol Spence Jr. versus Sebastian Fundora. With whose money? With whose money? No one. It's bullshit, guys. Once again, that's when you say, I'll have to see it to believe it. Joe, is Mauricio Suleiman a little light in the loafers? Or no, stop it. Mauricio's a great guy, but I'm not going to say anything about that because I don't know for sure. But I will say this about Mauricio Suleiman. He is an awful drummer. Look, I'm a musician, man. I've been a professional musician since I was 16, 15. And he is a terrible drummer who has no sense of time, no sense of rhythm. He doesn't know. I'm a much better drummer than he is. And I am a vocalist and a guitar player and a bass player by trade. He is terrible. Have you ever heard him play drums, guys? Oh, boy. Talk about ear spank. Oh, boy. Oh, man. But anyway, guys, it's about that time. We're almost 2 hours and 20 minutes in. But, guys, God bless all of you. And thank you for hanging with me tonight. Thank you for allowing me to vent my frustrations. And thank you, Game Day. Appreciate you being the whipping boy tonight. That wasn't my intent, but hey, it just kind of worked out that way, didn't it? But guys, we'll be on tomorrow. Maybe with Adam Lopez, maybe with some other guest. But we'll definitely be on tomorrow evening with our dear friend, Coach Ronnie Shields. We've got some catching up to do. He obviously missed last Tuesday because of the hurricane, and they were out of power in the greater Houston area. So, guys, once again, yeah, we'll be on tomorrow night. Hopefully, I'll fit in 2 shows if I'm not too busy. But, guys, God bless all of you, and thank you for joining me on this day, and thank you for making me feel better. Oh, geez. You were right. Mauricio has bad time. Dude, that's being nice. That's being nice. Viva Trump, guys. And guys, please keep our fractured nation in your prayers. Yes, and prayers to Donald Trump and a speedy recovery. And please pray that God keeps everyone safe, including all of my extended family here tonight. I love all of you guys. You guys mean a lot to me. And may you walk in Christ's light. May you guys all stay close to the Holy Trinity. God bless all of you. Hold on. One last thing. Joe, let's be honest. You talk a lot of crap about a lot of people. Yeah, because I can. What are they going to do? Cancel me? that I'm in this business, and I don't need anyone to make money in this business. I work with a lot of different promoters all around the country. And what are they going to do? Cancel me? Brother. Oh, God bless you, Toby. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for being here, my friend. And thank you, Iceman. I appreciated the discussion. And it brought up some really, really great discussion, all of your talking points. I love all of you guys. And please be safe tonight. Have a wonderful week, rest of your week. And please join us tomorrow when we talk to Ronnie Shields. Hopefully I can slip in another show during the day. But until then, go, guys. And by the way, guys, don't forget to download and support my son's band, Roshi, ROSHIISATX. Stands for San Antonio, Texas. ROSHIISATX. And download his song, New Mexico, by Roshi. And that's the theme for Rick Glaser's song, or Rick Glaser's show. Guys, until tomorrow, God bless all of you guys. And please pray for our fractured nation. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's
Can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser.